Today on A Place of Our Own, discover why expensive store-bought toys aren't necessarily the best toys for your little ones. Plus, choo-choo, all aboard the box trains. That's all coming up next. Hi, I'm Debbie Gutierrez, and welcome to A Place of Our Own. A Place of Our Own is designed just for you. Parents, grandparents, child care providers, babysitters, anyone who takes care of young children. As you know, the early years of childhood are so important. Every interaction you have with your child during these years is a learning opportunity. You may not even realize it, but you are your child's first teacher. Did you know that the two most powerful predictors of intellectual development are parental involvement and the availability of open-ended play materials? Open-ended materials allow children to play in a variety of ways with no right or wrong approach. And while toys should not be substitute for playing with adults, when toys are age-appropriate, they can definitely encourage learning. It's important to have a variety of play materials, but remember, they don't need to be store-bought or expensive. Today we'll discover which play materials are most appropriate for your infant or toddler. Plus, imagination expert Alan Kokiko shows us an inexpensive alternative to a favorite childhood toy.
That's right, Debbie. A few boxes are all you need to make a train set your kids will love.
Appropriate play materials for babies and toddlers. That's our topic today on A Place of Our Own.
Exclusive corporate funding for A Place of Our Own is provided by...
Is it possible to have a car and a clean environment? Can solar power become mainstream? Can business be a force for good? We think so. And the people of BP are going beyond petroleum to try.
Major funding is also provided by...
It's just a donut. It's just a donut and some cookies. It's just a donut, cookies, and some soda. But it's not just that. It's obesity, it's type 2 diabetes, it's heart disease, and it's in your hands.
The Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Additional support is provided by the following.
Welcome to A Place of Our Own. I'm Debbie Gutierrez, and today we're focusing on how to choose the most appropriate play materials for your infant or toddler. Joining me today are Consuelo, Fred, and David. Hello.
Hello, Debbie.
Also with us is early childhood educator Bev Boss. Welcome.
Oh, it's good to be here.
Thank you. Today's letter comes from Carrie Dye, and she writes, Dear Debbie, I'm a new mom of a 9-month-old daughter who seems to be getting more active every day. Are there specific kinds of toys available that will hold her interests? Bev, what advice do you have for Carrie?
Well, the loveliest thing is that she didn't just go out and buy toys. She wrote the letter and asked, and that's really wonderful. One of the things that I would advise, she is the best plaything that her child will ever have. It's the intimacy. If our kids learn through their senses, by touch, sight, sound, then it's the relationship between the child and the parent that is the most significant and important things. And how you start. And you don't need materials. Peekaboo. Patty cake.
Right.
Watch this. Give me your hand. Round and round the garden, like a teddy bear. 1 step, 2 step, tickle you under there. Here you have this.
Did you like that, David?
I did. Do it again.
You know, it's this wonderful relationship that you have. That's what's the most important thing that you can do. And, you know, I have to tell you that I fly all over the world. There are hundreds of families on lots of flights. Nobody does any of this anymore. No. None. So they don't have this intimacy. They don't have this relationship. A whole generation has missed this.
Right.
They don't know how to do this. You know, when you play peekaboo, the child finds out that when they take the blanket away, you're still there.
Yes.
That's object permanence. One of the most important things you can learn. It's still there. And we just don't seem to be able to do that anymore. So the most important plaything. And then open-ended materials. Things that children can make their own.
Such as?
Such that they can adapt to their boxes. Balls that they can roll. Blocks are one of the most important things you get. Just all sorts of different kinds of blocks. You know,
our expert Alico Kiko, I was telling her 2 years ago when I was traveling, I said, I'm leaving and I have a refrigerator box. And she said, don't give it to Pilar until you leave. So my husband gave her the refrigerator box and he took pictures. It was a hair salon. It was a pizza parlor. It was a cave. I mean, and she just played with that box all weekend and built up that anticipation. I'm going to play with the box all weekend.
And it belonged to her.
Yes.
It wasn't something that you had done and you had made or you had bought. And I think the easy way out is to just go shop. But you know, I have to say this. I've given 6,000 workshops, and one of the things I say in every workshop is, don't buy toys for your kids. Buy loose parts.
Buy loose parts?
Loose parts. Paper, crayons, paint, but nothing that they have to copy somebody else's work.
Right.
Pieces of wood. I have a school. You know, we have a school. We don't have any toys. We have driftwood and blocks and boxes and things that kids can paint and things that kids can do. And we have a whole room filled with old appliances that the kids take apart. And then the parts they take off, they take home. Keeps the place really organized.
Yes.
And you know how hard it is to find anybody in the world that can fix anything these days?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, there you are.
There you go.
We're teaching the kids how to take care of things.
There you go. Now, Fred, we invite grandparents to sit on panel because they bring so much wisdom to the table. And like Bev was saying, there's a generation that's lost the ability to play. Do you find yourself playing games with the babies or the grandchildren?
Yes, I think my granddaughter's favorite game is to play dress up. She'll come in right after us, and after we've gone to some kind of service or a fun area, and she'll get into her grandmother's shoes, and she'll want to take her purse, and she wants to get my hand, and let's go walking. So I'm kind of that figure in her life, and it teaches her life skills.
Sure it does,
and she's emulating what she sees an adult does, so she's able to do that with precise expertise, you know.
David, what kind of toys does your toddler play with?
I'm basically her biggest toy. She climbs on me, I lay on the ground, she climbs all over me, I hide my face, and she tries to find different parts, and we play and we do the nose game and the eye game and the ear game. And then the things that you were talking about, we do a lot of painting and drawing, but it's just, we get just paper and she takes the finger paint and just, it's everywhere.
There
I mean,
you go.
it's mostly me, a lot of my head. I always have some sort of a nice design on my head. That's right. So
Nice
that's mostly, we don't have a lot of toys actually. It's mostly pieces and a lot of cutting and pasting and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I was saying my daughter has never had a color book, and ergo she never says, how do you draw an airplane? How do you draw a rocket ship? Because Bev told me she already knows how to do it.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is, you know, even if you do buy a toy, or grandparents give kids toys, let them do with the toy what they want. Follow their lead. If they want to take it apart, if they want to do it in some other way. And if you're ever playing games, you know, board games with kids, until the age of reason, which might even be 10 for some kids, they have to win.
Do they?
Oh my, yes. You know, you just can't. I don't care how it's going. They absolutely do. It isn't winning. It's just that's the way they play the game.
Okay.
And very surely, very quickly, they'll learn it the other way. But it's
Good
really
to know.
important.
Consuelo, what kind of play materials do you have available to the kids you care for?
I actually do activities. And what I do look for ways for him to develop his senses. And it is so much fun for him to watch him develop the sensory skills. And what I do every week, I think of something. How can he use his senses? So the flower, I found the flower so inviting for him to discover. I put a bucket of flour, a bucket of water. I put a lot of other materials like spoons, measuring cups. So he pours the water into the flour. He touches, he feels it. And I start asking open questions. How does it feel? How does it smell? What color is it? So he's touching it. He's mixing the dough. He's using his motor skills. And then the fun, he spends hours. I do the rice. I color the rice so he can see the different colors of rice. We put containers are very important to measure and see how tall it is, how short, various. And the fun thing, he spends a lot of time after we're done. Let's clean up time. So I bring a bucket with sponges and water. and he cleans. And he's using his motor skill.
Right.
Bring towels, and he just spends hours and hours. And I know that I'm giving him the opportunity to develop all his skills.
Great, knowledgeable panelists. Thank you so much. And if you'd like to find out more or talk online with other parents and caregivers, go to our website at placeofourown.org or call Child Care Connection at 1-800-KIDS-793. Up next, they come in all sizes and colors. Discover the amazing power of blocks. And still to come, inexpensive train sets made from recyclables. Today we're focusing on appropriate play materials for babies and toddlers. As we've discovered, kids don't need expensive store-bought toys to learn while they play. In fact, blocks are a favorite among babies and toddlers. Let's find out why.
You want to make it with something with these blocks?
I'll make 100 of blocks. 100. Now look what I made.
Blocks come in all shapes and sizes, textures and colors. And not only are blocks inexpensive and fun toys, they promote all kinds of learning.
Block play is very important for the development of children because it helps them in developing concepts of size and shape and weight. It helps them to figure out how things might fit together when they're building things.
I found a blue.
Blocks are great play materials because they appeal to kids of all ages. And playing with blocks is an open-ended activity, so the outcome is never the same.
Look, Ria, I made a big building.
Children go through different stages of playing with blocks, depending upon their age and developmental abilities. From carrying and stacking to more elaborate constructions.
Children will start playing with blocks from really early ages. Even from the time that they're infants, they will start to grasp onto small blocks and even some large blocks if they're soft enough.
It's a lot of blocks, Maya.
Toddlers, when they play with blocks, you will start to see them stacking, but that's the stage where they want to do a lot of fill and dump. So you want to give them blocks and items such as baskets that they can fill and then carry around.
God, to put inside.
Research shows that one important way babies learn about the world around them is by using their motor skills and experiencing the effects of their own actions. To get your baby excited about blocks, stack a few together and then help him to knock them down.
Down.
Playing with blocks also helps your child with his cognitive abilities, as well as his gross motor skills.
And what is that one?
This one is blue. This one.
The development of hand-eye coordination is facilitated very well with block play because children have to figure out how things are put together. So they're also determining how size and space is incorporated into how they see it.
I found the yellow one you needed.
Plus, playing with blocks develops problem-solving skills because kids learn through cooperative play.
What happened?
Mine.
Parents can learn a lot about their children by watching how they play with blocks because first they're going to see where they are cognitively and what they can do and the issues that they're working with.
I made a train.
Oh, the train?
The train.
Oh, okay.
The train that grabs many different kinds of dirt.
Parents can also learn a lot by just listening to them because it is a form of dramatic play.
I forgot to make the wheels.
Uh-oh.
They may talk about things or play in a way that helps them see something that their child might be working through.
You want this piece?
When you're with children that are playing with blocks, there's times when you might be right with them and facilitating the building, and you might follow their direction.
Okay, I don't want no more.
You don't think any more can go? Oh, no, it happened.
When we direct it too much, we tend to limit what they're building or what they're making, and sometimes their ideas are much grander than ours.
Amanda, look at my tower. It's a tower. Amanda, do you like my tower?
Yeah, you guys did a good job.
Make block play part of your daily routine to give your child a wide variety of learning experiences that are also fun.
And here.
Bev, what are some of the other benefits from playing with blocks?
Well, you know, before I say that, one of the things that I think about a lot, I think if children are awake and they're touching and they're moving and they're feeling things, they're learning. And I think we need to have some faith in children that they will develop to their optimum if we just give them enough things and hang around, not bombard them with a lot of talk, just let them experience it. I mean, I thought the best thing on the clip is when the thing fell over. You know, you almost want to stand on your head and clap and cheer when a kid messes up. Then they have to do it again.
Right.
So while I think that we tend to identify math skills and even language, they're talking about the blocks. One thing when you're talking to kids, you know, they don't like yakety yak, so you do need to be careful about that. I mean, you don't want to be talking all the time. They want to do it. Mm-hmm. But I think that the other thing they have to do is change things. That's change. They have to make it their own. They are making it their own.
Right.
But beyond that, Debbie, there needs to be some trust that kids are going to grow and know those things without us hovering over them. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah, because I don't think a child will opt to be bored.
No. Or if they are, they'll find something else to do.
Right.
You know, my mother didn't hang around, you know, and
right.
Gee, I know she had 8 kids. She was busy.
Right.
But we grew up, you know, making our own toys and figuring out our own things and talking things over.
Right.
And I think what happens with experience, the experience itself is stored in a part of the brain that they can bring back when they're having the experience. They can bring back when they start doing math
right.
in 2nd grade and 3rd grade.
Right.
We don't have to say anything.
Right. It was tangible for them at one time.
Yeah.
And they problem solved by themselves
Absolutely.
without a helicopter mom
yeah.
figuring it out for
yeah.
them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Consuelo, do you use block play?
Yes, we do. I feel that blocks helps them really develop a lot of their skills, especially their cognitive skills.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've noticed there, the kids, you know, the tower fell over. And what do you think it happened? You know, let's help the child figure out what happened, and then build it again in his own and say, oh, I put a smaller block in here. So let him come up with that idea.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a cognitive, and he'll build it stronger the second time. And the more he practices, he'll build it stronger and stronger each time if he falls over.
Because that play has led to problem solving?
Yeah, and one of the things I don't do, and this is interesting, I don't question my kids a lot, especially if I know the answer. Don't ask a kid a question if you know the answer. Just be there, just watch, you know, do you need anything else? And because I think, again, that trust and faith, the kids are going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You need to hang around. But,
and observe.
Yeah, and I don't think they necessarily have to do it again.
Okay.
The same way.
Because they'll figure out a different way?
Or they might go on to something else.
Right.
But I think there needs to be a lot of trust and faith in children's innate ability to learn.
Absolutely.
And the brain to develop.
David?
We have fun, big cardboard boxes, colored ones. And so that's we play stacking them, and we'll stack them, and then if she sort of starts to look off, I say, what color are the blocks? And she'll start to talk about the different colors of the blocks, and then she'll jump from box to box, and then she'll build a fort again, and she gets to play 10 different games with the same set of blocks. And they're different sizes and shapes, so she can knock them down and play with them and throw them. And then she tries to jump from each of them. She'll grab my hand. Come on, Daddy, jump with me. So it's really, she really gets it. And I do try to leave her and just let her sort of.
Yeah,
Fred?
that's a true experience for my granddaughter. She throws everything out on the floor and starts searching for the ones that she's looking for. And most likely she's going to take it and throw it at Papa if he's there. So she likes to throw it. My grandsons are great athletes, so she likes to throw things at them because she watches them play ball. So she's really into her blocks.
Well, I like the interesting point you made that we need to step back, give them some breathing room, observe them having a good time, and trust their ability to enjoy their play.
You know, I look at myself. I mean, there were 8 children. We didn't have many toys. We grew up so interesting and so bright.
Absolutely.
And I wonder, try to figure out how that happened.
You know, yeah, because I remember teaching kindergarten and trying to teach them how to play bank. And they had no idea because nobody goes to a bank anymore. Nobody rings things up at a store anymore. They don't know how to do those things. And so you need to go back into when you were a child and think, what did I enjoy playing?
You know, the other thing is, I think experience is not the best teacher, it's the only teacher.
Oh, beautiful.
And it has to be your experience.
Yes.
Not somebody else's.
Well, thank you, everybody. We've learned so much today about choosing the right play materials for babies and toddlers. Here are some important things to keep in mind. First, the best play materials are the ones that enable your child to use their senses and their motor skills. Simple, open-ended toys will hold their interest longer. And finally, toys are much less important than the attention your kids get from you and their caregivers. You are your child's best plaything. Thanks, Carrie, for your letter. If you have a question that you want us to answer, visit our website or write us at A Place of Our Own, KCT Television, 4401 Sunset Boulevard, Los Angeles, California, 90027. Coming up next, homemade train sets your kids are sure to love. We've learned a lot so far about appropriate play materials for babies and toddlers. And joining me now with more is imagination expert Alec Kokiko. Hi, Alec.
Hi, Debbie.
You're so funny. When they gave us how much time we get to talk about this, you said, you can say so much about a box.
It's true, because a box can be anything and everything, so it's really exciting. It's just the best, you know, I think I've said it before, it's just the best thing you can give a child.
Really?
Yeah.
How exciting. And you know, I heard that the box was actually inducted into the
Toy Hall of Fame.
The Toy Hall of Fame.
Same thing,
Interesting.
yes.
So what did you bring for us today, Alec?
Well, we have been talking about open-ended materials, and I said a box is a great thing. You can make a train with it. I mean, it can just be so many things, and today we made a box train with it.
Oh, that is so cute.
Yeah, and you just want a variety of boxes. You kind of cut open a hole. You can add animals to it. You can add dinosaurs to it, you know, cars, anything, you know, that your children or child is interested in, and that can be part of the box train. You know, we take some string, simply tie them together with the boxes, and, you know, look at this.
Look at that.
Yes, we have
How much would that cost at a toy store?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, all we used was some string and some boxes that we had.
And those are boxes from plastic bags.
Exactly.
And baggies. That's a nice little shape. I didn't even think about that. Those are nice. And then we have the Kleenex box.
Oh, well, you know, I think we have a variety out here because, you know, again, open-ended. You want to use all kinds. So you can use, you know, a tissue box. You can use a shoe box. You can use just a regular run-of-the-mill cardboard box. I mean, it just, wherever you want your imagination to take you and the child's imagination, have different sizes out there for them to put a box together. You know, if we're working with a baby, try different ones. Try one with all the sandwich bags boxes, or try one that has various size boxes ones here.
And what are you encouraging them to do?
Well, we are encouraging physical development, the push, the pull, the tugging. We're doing cause and effect here. You know, as the child is pushing and pulling, they're seeing a cause and effect happen.
Right.
And critical thinking skills. How do we get the box to move?
So how do you dress up your box if you want to make it looks like a circus train there and a regular train here?
Well, you know what? It all depends on your creativity. Use some construction paper, you know, cut out, you know, little wheels, and then, of course, our favorite friend, the tape, the different colors of tape to wrap around, and, you know, whatever design you want to make. I see that this train here has a couple of extra little things added on there, you know, for
things you find in your kitchen, a cupcake holder to make
all of it came out of the kitchen, and around the house.
Wonderful. And so why are we incorporating the toy animals into our block play?
Well, just to add for the drama of the play, of course. You know, you can bring out these materials, but as baby gets older and gets, you know, becomes a toddler, they're going to bring their own materials that they want. You know, it could be animals, it could be dirt and rocks and sticks, it could be anything.
Right. And if you're using a box, you can always throw it out once it gets really well loved.
Once it gets destroyed and well worn, yes, you can always, I mean, and they're just available everywhere.
Everywhere, right. And you know what, let's pitch to our parents too, if they're sending their child to child care. This is great. Save all this wonderful stuff because we know what to do with it.
We ask for donations. We always want boxes. Boxes and toilet paper tubes. Yes.
Easy to please.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for another terrific idea. Who knew boxes could be so fun and educational? Here's how your kids can benefit from these easy-to-make box trains. When your kids use their muscles to pull, push, and move the box train, they're developing their physical skills. Kids are learning to think critically when they experiment with maneuvering the box train and discovering how it works. Finally, the immediate response kids get from pulling and pushing the box train is teaching them cause and effect. Thank you, Alec, and thanks to our kids in the next room having so much fun. If you want more information on how to create these homemade toys or to share your ideas about play materials on our message boards, go to our website or write us with a self-addressed stamped envelope at A Place of Our Own, KCT Television, 4401 Sunset Boulevard, Los Angeles, California, 90027. We'll see you next time on A Place of Our Own. And remember, you are your child's first teacher. Let's go see what they're doing.
Exclusive corporate funding for A Place of Our Own is provided by...
Is it possible to have a car and a clean environment? Can solar power become mainstream? Can business be a force for good? We think so. And the people of BP are going beyond petroleum to try.
Major funding is also provided by...
It's just a donut. It's just a donut and some cookies. It's just a donut, cookies, and some soda. But it's not just that. It's obesity, it's type 2 diabetes, it's heart disease, and it's in your hands.
The Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Additional support is provided by the following.
We are PBS.
Today on A Place of Our Own, find out if your child is at risk for type 2 diabetes, how you can help prevent this life-threatening disease, plus healthy alternatives to high-fat snacks. That's all coming up next. Hi, I'm Debbie Gutierrez, and welcome to A Place of Our Own. A Place of Our Own is designed just for you. Parents, grandparents, child care providers, friends, neighbors, anyone who takes care of young children. As you know, every interaction you have with your child is a learning opportunity, so the early years of childhood are very important. That's why we say you are your child's first teacher. Once considered an adults-only disease, type 2 diabetes is currently an epidemic among young children and adolescents, and obesity may be the single most important factor in the development of type 2 diabetes. In fact, 25% of obese children are at high risk for developing this disease. What most people don't know is that diabetes is the leading cause of blindness and kidney failure among adults. It also causes nerve damage and circulation problems that often lead to the loss of a leg or foot. Diabetes significantly increases the risk of heart disease and is the 6th leading cause of death in the United States. The good news is that type 2 diabetes is, in many cases, a preventable disease. Making proper diet and exercise a family priority is an important factor in reducing your child's risk of developing this devastating illness. Today we'll find out how to protect your child from becoming one of the 18 million Americans who have